What is NIES?
Northern Ireland Exotic Sanctuary is Northern Ireland's only dedicated reptile rescue. So we take in unwanted, abandoned and neglected reptiles, amphibians and invertebrates.
How did you start all this?
So we realised that basically there's no other rescues in the country take in reptiles on a regular basis, and people who for various reasons could no longer look after their animals or didn't want them anymore, they basically had nowhere for them to go. We have seen a lot of animals being abandoned in the wild, which obviously, as not native species, they couldn't survive. And we also seen a lot of animals being neglected and having then sadly to be put to sleep in the vets. So we opened our doors to offer them somewhere safe to come, which means it's a lot less stress for the owner because they know they have somewhere that can help. And obviously it's a lot better for the animals that they're not abandoned, they're not hurt, and they also have somewhere safe to be where they'll be cared for until their new home comes along.
What is your name?
My name's Lindsay. So I run the rescue with myself, my colleague Rachel, and then our other director Deborah. And we also have a team then of 16 volunteers that help us out.
Do you have any reptiles at Fames like yourself?
I have 19 of my own in the house. I have everything from little small geckos right up to a monitor lizard who's about 3.5 feet long. Again, I have snakes from tiny little house snakes up to royal pythons. I have geckos, I have crabs, I have tortoises. I have just about everything that you can imagine. And then 3 dogs to boot as well.
What was your first reptile?
So my first reptile was a little western hognose snake called Noodle. I've always loved reptiles. I was never allowed them as a child, and as soon as I moved out, within 3 weeks, I had little Noodle, and she's probably the best pet I've ever had in my life. She is the most fantastic wee animal. She must be 10 years old now, and she's what started the fire, what really proved the fire, maybe more than anything.
What reptiles do you currently have in?
So at the minute, we have turtles, we have tortoises, we have lizards from crested geckos, plenty of beardies, we have a little leopard gecko, and then in snakes we have boas, we have royal pythons, corn snakes, we have a little hognose, we have a trinket snake who is about 2 feet long and fully grown. And then we also have a guy, I don't understand how he hasn't got his new home yet, who is the most beautiful Taiwanese beauty snake I have ever seen in my life. But for whatever reason, the perfect home just hasn't come along for him yet.
I feel so sad for the animals. It's anyway. How many reptiles roughly have you had in?
So in the last year, we've taken in 176 animals. We have successfully rehomed just over 150 of those. And the rest of them then are either going through their quarantine period or they're waiting for their forever homes. We also have 6 who, for various reasons, stay with us permanently. 2 of them are king snakes, who sadly were made a legal species back in 2022. So they'll stay with us the rest of their natural lives, as sadly the only option is to put them to sleep otherwise, which it's no option at all. We also have some other guys that for various health reasons they'll stay with us the rest of their lives too. Some of them came from a situation where they were just so badly neglected that it wouldn't be wise for them to be rehomed. They have different health conditions that they stress very easily. And then we also have a couple of guys who, basically to get the really nice pattern on them, had to be bred with a faulty gene, which means before long they will die of illness due entirely to poor breeding. So they'll stay with us the rest of their days as well.
How can people support you in this business?
So support can come in a lot of different ways. Obviously, where we need support most is financially. People can donate online. They can donate in person, either at the sanctuary here, or we also work with a pet shop in Antrim called the Reptile Realm. We have a lot of merchandise for sale and some used equipment, so people can also support us that way. Another way we always really do encourage is in your own business, your own workplace, college or home. You can organise your own fundraising events, and then we will support you with that as well. So we can provide like materials, logos, any of that sort of stuff for you. Another way people can support us as well is by donating equipment or supplies, because we definitely will make use of all of it. But also another way they can support us is just by sharing what we do, by raising awareness. So share Facebook posts, share events, or just spread the word basically. The more people that know we exist, the more people then that can come and support us at different events that we organise, or indeed adopt from us. Pretty much every animal that has come in our doors has a story of some kind, whether it's just simply that they weren't wanted anymore. We have tortoises here who sadly their owners passed away, and then they had to come to us because they had nowhere else to go. We have had ones come from animal welfare seizures. We have also had ones come in from police. Some of our guys have made the news as well. We had a reticulated python last year who was in a house fire, was then rescued by a police officer and brought to us. So sadly Sparks did suffer from some burns and some smoke inhalation, but thankfully he's now away to his forever home with a very, very experienced owner of large animals and large snakes. So he's done a lot of work with him to make sure that he's happy, he's healthy, he's recovered from all of his injuries, and it hasn't held him back at all. He is the most fantastic snake. I actually seen him quite recently, and you wouldn't believe the difference in him. A totally different animal. One of the other guys we had on the news last year was another snake who was abandoned up in Cave Hill Forest Park, and for some reason people decided to put it on social media instead of do anything about it. Again, I found it absolutely fantastic home and is thriving with the right care. So yeah, every single one of them has a story of some kind. So the perfect guys would be the two we have here. I have Bonnie and you have Clyde, who sadly were abandoned in a car park in Castlewellan Forest Park a few months ago. We have no idea where they came from. They were abandoned in the middle of the night, and I started getting phone calls in the early hours of the morning for lizards in a car park. Of course, my first thought was, you're joking. Sadly not. Sadly we had these two guys. Now, Clyde that you have, thankfully he wasn't in too bad condition. He was a little bit thirsty, a little bit hungry, both of which are easily solved. But unfortunately, poor Bonnie here was very, very sick. That for the first week or so, I didn't even think she was going to survive. So she had a respiratory infection, which it's like a very severe flu for you and me. Every breath was an effort for her to take. And she was also carrying a lot of physical injuries, like scars all over her body. Now, we have no idea where they came from. We don't know how they got there. We could assume, because obviously it's a male and a female, that they were a breeding pair. Whether it's because she got sick and nobody wanted to look after her anymore, or whether maybe they didn't breed this year. We'll never know how they got there, but really all that matters is they came to us through a lot of work from our vets and a lot of work from Rachel, from my colleague. So Bonnie recovered with a lot of injections and medication. Both of them are now happy, healthy animals, and once they finish their quarantine, there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't go on to get some happy, loving, forever homes.
Like, how do people, if they do want to adopt them, like from here?
So we try to keep the adoption process as simple as possible. When the animals come into us, they go through a 3-month quarantine just to make sure that they're happy, healthy, and it lets us get to know the animal, see what they like, what they don't like. What that means then is once the time comes for them to be rehomed, we know what sort of owner they need, we know what sort of care they need. What we do then is they get posted on the pet adoption website. We'll have a little breakdown of the animal, of their personality, little quirks, and all of the sort of features of the animal. We also break down what sort of environment they need, so what size of enclosure, heat, all of that sort of setup. And because we've spent that time with them, then we know whether they're great for a first-time keeper, like somebody just getting to know animals for the first time, or whether they need someone that has had that particular species before. We know if they're safe around kids. Some of them are really nice, docile animals. Some of them, if they're a little bit more nervous, we would say just, you know yourself, kids can be sort of loud and jumpy. We don't want to upset the snake or the lizard. We also don't want the child getting hurt. So we would say, look, they need a slightly older home. We keep it as straightforward as possible. So basically, you go onto the website. If you see an animal that you like, you think would suit your house, would suit your experience, it's just a short form, little questionnaire about basically what you can do for them, care, experience-wise, and also what you're looking for in an animal. If you are then the lucky person, it's a short virtual home check, which is just a series of photographs of where you're going to keep them to make sure the enclosure is appropriate, and that's it. As long as that's all okay, you just come up, pay your adoption donation, and then off into the sunset with your new pet. We also offer a lifetime backup. So if anything changes in the future and you can't look after them anymore, a phone call, a text message, I don't judge, I don't ask situations, we bring them straight back. Whether that's in a month, 6 months, 3 or 4 years, they'll always come back to us. And we also offer just a backup forever of any sort of advice or questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Even if it's not an animal you've adopted from us, we're always happy to help where we can. Like I say, obviously we're not vets, we can't give medical advice, but if you send us a picture, we can give you a bit of help with regards to care or behaviour, or we can say to you, look, no, that needs to go and see a professional. We also have a pretty good network of vets around the country, so we can advise who your nearest exotic vet would be, because not every vet will see a reptile, unfortunately.
How do the reptiles come to you?
So they come from a lot of different places. The vast majority come from previous owners, whether they either just don't want them anymore or for different reasons can no longer look after them. They'll just bring them up to us, and we'll take them in. We also get them from animal welfare, from the government bodies or from the councils. As we said, we also get them abandoned, that we then have to go and recover them from the wild. And then we do work with police and fire as well to take in animals that they find or that are surrendered to them, seized from different things. We also recently have started to work with the NHS. So the guy beside you there is a perfect example of basically a decline in mental health. The lady had to be institutionalised and he was left with nowhere to go. Now, before we existed, animals like him would have been put to sleep because there was nowhere for them to go to. So thanks to our existence, he got a chance at life, basically. He has been here with us now about 4 months. He was very, very skinny when he came in, was nursed back to health, and now, thankfully, has a fantastic new home waiting for him. They're off on holiday at the minute, so once they're back, he's going to go to his forever home, where he's going to be loved and treasured, hopefully, for the rest of his days.
How would people volunteer if they want to get into volunteering for this place?
Yeah, so volunteering we always do encourage. We have volunteer inductions every few months. It's as simple as fill in an online form, and then I'll send you details once the next volunteer day is confirmed. You just come to the day. Sadly, it is a little bit boring. It's a lot of paperwork and legal side of things, and then we'll get you in some handling. We'll teach you how to care for the animals. It doesn't matter if you have lots of experience or you've no experience at all. We'll teach you right from the basics, and we'll teach how to be safe yourself and also how to be safe for the animals. We never put anybody in a situation they don't want to be in, so if there's something you're not comfortable with, we're not going to push you outside of your comfort zone. But there will be something for everyone. I say at the minute we have snakes, lizards, tortoises, turtles. We also do take amphibians and invertebrates. We just don't have any at the minute, but never say never in the future. So there will be something to learn every day. Even myself, 16 years down the line, we're still learning something every day. So there will be something for everybody. We also do for obviously our events, our fundraising events. We have people come out to take part in them, and yeah, every day is different, so definitely do recommend, whether you're doing it for Duke of Edinburgh, whether you're doing it for college placements, or whether you're just doing it for your own mental and physical health. Certainly we'll be more than welcome to have you here.
Do you have any advice for beginners?
My best advice for anybody is always research, whether they've kept animals before or whether this is a new species to them. There are plenty of forums, plenty of websites, Facebook groups, owners groups that you can join, and owners will always be more than happy to give you their advice. But definitely do your research before you get the animal. A lot of the surrender requests that we get are from people who didn't properly research the animal, and they found they either need more care or more complex care than they originally thought, or that the animal simply grew a lot bigger than they thought it was going to. We have seen animals come in with quite severe behavioural problems because they were got by people who just simply didn't have the experience that was needed, and a bit of research beforehand would have solved that. Even from ourselves, we're more than happy to answer questions. Again, say whether it's Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever's easiest for you. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Doesn't matter whether you've adopted from us or not. We're always more than happy to give you advice. That would be my best thing. There's no such thing as doing too much research. I mean, even myself, 16 years later, you still learn. Every day you'll learn something new. Every day there's different care is changing. There's new technology coming out with regards to heat, with light. So it's always going to change, and things that worked maybe in the 90s, they're not going to work nowadays, just because there are different equipment and different things out there. So I always say, just read. There's TikTok accounts and everything dedicated to care. It doesn't matter what social media, it doesn't matter what digital form you use, there will be something out there for you. And obviously there will be bad advice as well as good. So the more you do, the more you'll be able to see what is good advice and what's not.